Okay, so the Ionian mode is the major scale, which is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale that you learn, for those of you that were in choir, it's the scale that a lot of people practice for singing. It's our scale that everything in music is compared to. So we'll keep referring back to this first mode. So it's real important that you definitely spend a little extra time on this particular mode. It's real happy, kind of uplifting type of sound as far as the mode, and it's one of those type of modes that kind of really give you a good feeling. So let's go ahead and learn it, and then we'll kind of break it down and figure out how it's constructed, and then we'll go ahead and practice maybe playing over a little backing track here. Okay, so we're going to start on the A note on the 5th fret with the first finger. So we're going to go 1, 2, 4 pattern. The fret numbers are going to be 5, 7, 9. Okay? 5th, 7th, 9th, next string, same thing. The next 2 strings are going to be the same finger pattern, 1, 2, 4, but we're going to go 6, 7, 9 instead. So from the low E. The last 2 strings, 7, 9, 10, and we're going to use our 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Backwards. So you want to play this scale forward and backwards, practice it with a metronome. That's real important. So let me go ahead and play it for you one more time, and then I want to go over how the scale is constructed. Okay, so now let's talk about how the scale is constructed, and let's talk about our number system. Really, it's real important that you understand the system before moving on to the next mode. The easiest thing that we can say for this particular mode is because all the other scales are going to be compared to this, we're going to basically number it 1 through 8. Okay, so when we play this scale, the first note's going to be number 1. Second note's going to be number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 1 and 8 are the same notes. So as we're going through, just keep that in mind. So 1 and 8 are the same, it's just an octave. Okay, so it's real important that you know that how these numbers kind of fall, where the numbers are. If you want to know where the 3rd is, it's 1, 2, 3, okay? Really try to get that down, practice it over and over and over, because we're really going to use this when we get into overlapping the other modes over top of it. So what I'd like to do now is kind of play this mode a little bit for you so you can kind of get a really good indication of how this mode sounds. Like I said, it's a very happy kind of uplifting scale. For those of you that are songwriters, if you're writing a song and you want a real more peppy type of scale, this is the scale you probably want to go for. So now we're going to go ahead and play the Ionian mode at 80 on the metronome, and then we'll speed it up to 120. So here's how it's going to sound at 80. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's go ahead and practice the mode at 120, so we're going to step it up a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what I want to do next is I want to play over what's called a modal vamp. And a modal vamp, without getting into too much of the theory as far as how all the chords are going to work, a modal vamp is a chord progression specifically built for each individual mode. Okay, the way the chords are lined up, it kind of gives a nice support for that particular mode. So I want to go ahead and play the A Ionian over top of an Ionian modal vamp in the key of A. And like I said, it's going to be a real kind of peppy type of sound, real happy type of sound. So in improvising over top of that Ionian progression there, using a lot of little scale patterns, some arpeggiated type of patterns, some double stops work real effective. So I was taking some little double stops down here on the last 2 strings. And did a little lick kind of reminiscent to Jessica from the Allman Brothers. All right. Then another thing I was doing was taking scales in 3-string increments in legato, hitting only the first note. And then some pivoting too. Since I'm playing in A, I kind of went down to this position. So you really have to kind of work on your stretching there to get that particular one. If not, then take it up a whole, an octave higher and kind of work on it up there. But so real cool mode to improvise. Definitely a real happy, uplifting type of sound.